Welcome to Meeples on Meeples Episode 3, a podcast where we discuss all things board games related. I'm Adam.
I'm Brian.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Ian.
And if you followed our website, our Facebook account, or our Twitter account, you know that our game of the week for this week is Flashpoint Fire Rescue.
Flashpoint Fire Rescue is a fairly simple, very cooperative game. And the idea is basically in the name. It is you're acting as firefighters trying to put out a fire. When you start the game, you roll randomly for the placement of the fire in the building. The map is two-sided, so you can decide if you want a harder building or a more easier beginner side building. After you roll for where the fire starts, you also roll to place little explosion or little chemicals that could add on to later explosions. Once the fire is all placed, you then place individuals or what we call victims. That is the goal of the game, is to rescue them.
Face down.
Face down, we're just showing them face up there. Then all the firefighters start outside of the building, and the game goes around in turns. Each turn, you have up to 4 actions or more if you have a specialist firefighter. And your 4 actions can be to move, to put out fire, to rescue an individual, and some other options.
And the firefighters you choose are actually on these cards here that give you the number of actions you have and then their special abilities.
At the end of your turn, of those 4 turns and plus your special abilities, you roll the dice and the fire continues and expands. And the whole goal of the game is to put out the fire and to rescue the individuals and get them out of the building. If you rescue 7 individuals, you win the game. If 4 or more individuals die, you lose the game. And that's kind of basically it. I mean, in a nutshell, it's a very simplistic style of game.
As the house gets damaged, walls get damaged, that's what these cubes go on here for. And once you run out of black cubes and you have no more to place, the structure is unsafe and it collapses. That also can end the game immediately.
Yeah, for every explosion against a wall, you put 1 cube. For the second explosion, you put 2 cubes, and that means that wall is destroyed. So you can essentially walk through it like a doorway.
And there's a big pile over there, but they run out fast.
They run out very fast, and you can destroy doorways.
You can chop through walls.
Make
shortcuts.
Try to make shortcuts, but every time you chop through a wall, it gives more damage to the structure, so you have to kind of use that strategically.
Use the same black cubes and you chop through the wall. So you run out of those cubes, the house collapses, and as we discovered last time we played this, you can go through a game in about 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah. The one thing that's really nice about this game is it does give you different options of level of play. We found playing the basic game, we won most of the time, so we decided to up the ante a little bit. And
There was no we in this decision.
No.
Well, one of us decided to up the ante a little bit.
And we didn't up it a little bit. Somebody jumps all the way to veteran thinking, oh, we can take this.
And we didn't. We basically got taken out. The great thing about this game is that up to 6 players in the box set. They are in the process of releasing expansions for it. They just had a Kickstarter trial here, and it was very successful, so they're coming out with expansions on it. The original game came with pods or tokens to represent your firefighters. We kind of bought the Meeples out with when the first edition came out. The newer edition that's now being sold in big box stores, Barnes & Noble, Targets, they will actually have actual firefighter Meeples.
Which look very cool.
Looks very cool.
Yeah.
So, but the idea of this is to work very cooperatively to try to get this done.
And there's a lot of strategy that goes into this game. A lot of it coming from the character cards you pick. They do have special abilities that allow them to do certain things. For instance, one of the characters we seem to use all the time is a character that can, after he's done with his turn, he can move another one of the characters 2 spaces. So that way he can set that person up strategically to be closer to a victim or closer to a fire that needs to be put out or something as kind of a strategy. So when it comes to their turn, they're more effective on their turn.
There's a person who can dispose of these hazardous chemicals or materials without having to pick them up and then slowly carry them out of the building. So that's kind of nice to have that person to get these away before they explode and spread the fire more rapidly.
That would be the hazmat technician.
Yep, thank you.
Yep, I'm trying to keep up with you.
They have one that can actually rescue the victims. Without the one who can rescue the victims, you actually have to carry their bodies out of the building, which slows you down.
Yep, and we have a rescue specialist and a paramedic. Also, both are more generally geared towards the actual individuals that are trying to take out of the building.
And you want one of them on with you. The rescue specialist allows you to figure out which ones are actual victims. They do have tokens that are blank. That are called false alarms, so that when you get into that square, you flip it over. It's a false alarm. You just waste your time putting out the fire and trying to get to that victim, where the rescue specialist can identify that before you get there, and then the paramedic can actually revive the person, so they follow you out, and you don't have the restriction of action points to slow you down.
When you're going to carry a victim out, I think it's two of your actions to move one space with a victim. So it can be kind of slow if they're 6-7 spaces from the next doorway to actually get them out. It's going to take quite a few turns to get there.
And you might think that the idea is just to find the victims as fast as possible, but we found out if you don't pay attention to the fire, it can really wipe you out very quickly.
I have found that it's a little bit more successful to actually just go for the fire and go for the items, minusing the actual individuals, and then just as you play, you're actually closer to the individuals, and then you just pull them out.
Where were you last time we played this again?
I just remember that we got demolished my first game I've ever played it, and the fire went rampant, and then the second time it just went a lot better if we just started going for the smoke, going for the fire, like right away. I kind of just saying, I don't care where the people are because we're obviously haters. We would like to see them perish in fiery blaze.
Clearly, we work for the insurance company. Save the property. Yes.
The part you're saying about smoke is when you first roll for an item, the first explosion, everything's fire. But after that, after your turn, you roll. If it's in an open space, it's a smoke cloud. It just means that the smoke is filling up the building. But if you place smoke next to a fire, it automatically catches fire. 2 smokes on the same square turn into a fire. And if you place a smoke where there's already a fire, an explosion occurs, and that really has a tendency to take over the building, and was the main reason that we lost last time, is the dice roll was really against us.
Can we talk about the... Go ahead. I just want to talk about the art style. Before I jump in, I want your guys' opinion on the art style. Just off the top of your head, what do you guys think about the art style of the game?
It seems very Sims-like, actually, to what I see. I mean,
for something so grim, though, does anybody else think it's a little too happy and cartoony? It's like so pretty and colorful. It should have been all like soot covered and.
Well, that's because it's good until you put the fire on top of it. I mean, it's supposed to look like a.
It's good until the firefighters get
there. Yeah, and then it's chopping down the walls and burn this mother.
I was actually really impressed though with the detail of the board.
It's good quality components. I'm just not totally sure I'm sold on the art style. It does look. I didn't think about the Sims comment, but it totally does. And I'm sorry, but I have the comment on the cards. It's cool that they have these specialists, but they tried too hard to make the chicks hot. And not in like a fire kind of way.
I don't think I've ever seen a hot firefighter.
We're gonna get so much hate mail, guys.
If you're a hot firefighter and you'd like to send us your pictures, that's perfect.
Pictures.
Pictures
didn't happen.
Yeah, I believe
that's kind of a motto here. But it looks like she just put on makeup before she came to the. She took time to put on fresh lipstick. She's got the whatever blush.
I would guess it's non-combustible materials.
Yeah,
no hairspray. Obviously, let's hear it.
So I'm not totally sold on that. It's good artwork.
She really wasn't in a hurry to get to the fire, obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, that's why she's working with us, because obviously our guys. Speaking of components, I do want to warn you, if you get a first edition game, and it's something that I didn't realize until I actually was reading up on it. The first edition game, the 8-sided dice, has a little bit of a problem. When you're firing the deck gun, which is a powerful tool you have, is your fire engine can actually put out a lot of fire in one area at once. And you're supposed to roll the dice to see where your deck gun is aiming at. Well, it says if you roll something that's outside of your range of the fire, fire truck.
Because the fire truck has these
designated spaces.
You can't see if there are some designated areas where it can hit depending on the quadrant.
It says that you're supposed to take the number that you had on the 8-sided dice and flip it over, and that becomes your new number. Well, the first edition, which is what we have, the 8-sided dice isn't labeled properly because the 1 is right across from the 2 when you flip it over. The 5 is across from the 6, so it doesn't really change the board as it should.
Really?
So I thought when I was the deck or the driver operator, I thought we did do that, and I tended to. We still were successful.
It was working though.
It was working though, but they said that there are sometimes, for example, if you are, let's see, well, we can go through this. For example, if you're way over here, if you roll a 1 or a 2 and you're over here, you're not going to hit anything. and the 1 and 2 are
I think
across
we
from each other.
re-rolled.
Yeah, we did. We ended up
right.
re-rolling when that happened. But if you do have the first edition, look at your 8-sided dice because they have I'm sorry. They have they have had some problems with those situations, especially if you're on
DC
at the board. It's not on the other side of the board.
You trying to talk about something?
I was. I guess I'm done.
Another thing about components that's kind of got me, it's kind of strange, is I know why they do it. They give you these colored cards to represent, which player you're going to be. The blue meeple gets the blue card. The card really doesn't seem to do a whole heck of a lot besides that, though. You get this blue card that you sit on the table, and
In case I forget what color I am.
I don't know exactly what the point is.
If your group can't remember
I'm blue.
what color you're in, I guess that's not necessary. But
It's kind of it seems just kind of a useless thing. I know to some degree why they did it.
It's more stuff in the box.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's,
strategy-wise, so what we said about putting out fires first. Anything else strategy-wise that you found helpful or?
We played a 2-player game. Strategy-wise, don't let Pat be in charge of one side of the house while you do the other side of the house, because my side of the house was like this, clear and nice, and Pat's side of the house was all fire.
I had a little bit of a problem.
He's like, oh, there's a little grease fire. Oh my gosh, the kitchen's gone. Oh, I lost the cat. And I saved like 4 guys, and I'm tripping. And I had to bring her on the deck gun and put it out.
Is
and
it really that bad if we do get rid of the cat? I mean,
Well,
honestly,
that's true. As long as you get the dog.
The burnt hair smell, I get. Nobody would want that in their living room. But beyond that,
It is considered a victim, though.
It is a cat.
So if
They don't have souls. I mean, honestly, cat. I'm sorry, cat people. Please email us at
Email
Which someday we're gonna explain that joke, but until then,
I'd have to bleep that out.
Please don't. We apologize, whoever you are.
You guys keep saying it. You have to bleep it out more. Stop.
Okay. Anyways, I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Andrew, you're gonna love editing this one. So.
Yeah. The one thing I do like about this is it is fairly easy. It's a fast play. It won several times.
Did you play the last game?
Well, I mean, easy to understand.
Family friendly.
Yeah, family friendly.
And the theme.
No, I don't agree with that.
You don't think this is family friendly?
No, I don't. I think it's a fun idea that the fact that everybody cooperatively at the actual table is actually going to be attacking the same problem and not being against each other in any way, shape, or form.
Which is why I think it's good family friendly. And the theme is like, how could you be offended by this? We're firefighters helping people. We're doing good deeds.
And that's really neat. Is that there's
So
a firefighter theme is amazing on its own. The fact that they actually came out.
The fact that nobody did it sooner is sad.
That they came out with a game that actually warranted firefighters, and it actually plays pretty good compared to that game. I mean, it really feels like strategy that you would have to come up with firefighters. And things like that.
Yeah, but my problem with it was the explosion effects. We couldn't really figure out or grasp the idea of like when the fire hits and then explodes another one and then explodes another one.
And when we
And
first
chain reaction, we overdid the first couple.
Yeah, and it seems like we just basically blew up the entire building with one explosion because they ended up being next.
Our first time we played it, we didn't realize the explosion only kind of goes in a circular pattern once. We did it as a chain reaction, so it went in a circular pattern about 5 times.
So every time now it's touching this
fire.
one. Okay, well, now it's touching this one, and then we literally blew out the
one
building.
explosion. That was the first game we did lose.
I mean, I think there's like 3 pages on explosions and fires in here. I mean, I get the idea of the entire premise of the game is explosions and fires, but if we could bring that in a little bit.
It could have been condensed a lot more.
It could probably be a lot more condensed.
And I agree with that. And once we played it with it after that time and we got the feeling for it, we read through the rules
and finally went through the rule book for the first time.
As long as
telling them our secrets. Stop.
As long as somebody other than Pat actually explains the rule, I think we're fine. I think the mono.
This all goes back to the Manhattan Project, doesn't it?
I really just believe if you're less monotone, we get it a lot more. It's a little bit of a higher, lower, tones, a little bit of flexion.
Are we done ripping on Pat? I've got plenty more. I grew up with him, so I grew up with him.
And the buzz cut. Can we go to the buzz cut?
Do we want to go final thoughts?
Yes, yeah, sure.
Before we drag this on forever. Okay, scale 1 to 10 is what we do. 1 is terrible. 5 is meh. 10 is amazing.
1 is Go Fish. 10 is
1 is Monopoly.
1 is
or life.
1 is life. Is way worse.
1 is Game of Life.
Life is
Shoots and Ladders. No.
Shoots and Ladders I like. That's a kid's game.
Anyway, scale 1 to 10.
It's fun.
Oh boy, I'm kind of torn. I'm going to go 7 on this one. I like it quite a bit. The art style, it's not a major detraction, but a little bit. But yeah, it's a solid 7, which again is good on our scale. So I mean, I don't have anything to really complain about. I like it. I'll definitely enjoy playing it. I like the cooperative aspect.
Yes.
I like games like that. We have a few that we play. But I mean, I just don't have too much to say. It's a good game. No real complaints.
I'm actually going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to go with the 6. And it's going to be based... it's
Firefighters. It is bluemeeple@gmail.com.
Yeah. It's a lot based on that last game we played. We played it on, as we said before, the beginner level a few times, and we were pretty successful, only losing 1 game. And then we bumped it up to the veteran level, and it got completely out of hand. It was extremely difficult. We had I think it was flashpoints on the map that caused more explosions than would normally happen, and the whole thing fell apart just so fast. I mean, it was 25-30 minutes and the game was done. The house was down. I think the difficulty level just spikes too much when you bump it up like that. So
does that have to increase with the amount of players that you have? Do you have
No,
to,
you can
do
choose.
multiple
You can
people
just
play
choose.
multiple characters?
Oh yeah. Well, actually,
At that point, I mean,
actually,
does it
when
say you have to play all 6?
No. When you look in there, it tells you how many. It tells you your
Eight players.
It tells you your veteran level.
Little microphone problem. We'll keep going.
It tells you when you look at the rule book. It tells you veteran level. You do this, and plus then it says if you have this many players, you add this much more.
it just seems like...
So it really does.
So we do progress. So the
There's
game does progress with you depending on how.
Yeah,
many
and
players.
that's kind of my
Understood.
problem. It doesn't seem like there's a real good middle ground too much. It seems like it either goes from too simple for a kind of an older, more sophisticated game group.
Sophisticated.
Ooh.
I'm having a sophisticated. Yeah. I'll take sophisticated.
You, I don't know. No. But anyways, I think it jumps up too much. I mean, the beginner's too easy for us, but the hard is just too difficult. And I don't know that we necessarily did anything wrong the last time we played to make it get that difficult for us.
I would argue that our strategy, we didn't have a good
We
strategy.
did do
for
something
veteran.
wrong. We opened the box.
I think the problem with the veteran is we were so used to playing basic, we didn't get the deck gun out early enough. There's a lot of strategy there that we.
I think we let you roll the initial fires too.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
did
gonna
roll the
blame you for
initial.
some of that.
I did roll the initial fighters, and it was all in the kitchen area. So,
But that's
That'd be really easy with 1 deck gun though.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
no,
but
it's a very
the
big-
quadrants are split right.
Yeah, so it's split
and
right
we
there.
didn't think about the deck gun until like half the house
And
was
we-
gone.
Well, that's just it. I'd like to bring out the deck gun
It
right
took
away.
us longer to get there, so it had spread by the time we'd actually made our
Yeah.
way. So
And
it was
that's
a
why-
bad place
Well,
to start.
I think it is really key to actually have the deck gun. It may seem like a secondary character for the most part, but it actually seems to every game to play to actually play that as a more of a primary role.
Yeah.
Instead of having it being kind of a
It makes a
it's
huge difference.
Yeah, it can
It does.
because it's more like I'm going to save everybody in the room pretty much because you can just roll around in one turn and then maybe hit that fire on the other side of the house.
How many times did you die this last game?
I died 3 times
Yeah, is that-
from
is that
your
better?
rolls.
Is
I
that-
think,
is that why
actually.
you're a little bit better?
Just a little bit better.
I tried
But-
to kill you several times.
That's why I'd give it a 6. I do like it. I do like the cooperative play. It's a nice nice components for the most part. Although I don't understand the colored cards, but it's not that I don't like it. It's just that the difficulty curve just kind of throws me, and I think they could have maybe done that a little bit better, as well as the explosions. They're maybe a little too confusing for the type of game it is.
Right.
So that's why I'd go with a 6.
I go with a 7 as well. I like the components. It's a fairly quick game to learn. It's very cooperative. There is that strategy level where it can take over really fast if you're not working together, you're not communicating, you're not getting your people in the right spots. I'm really excited for the expansions that I'll be receiving soon, just to see
I just
what
want
that adds.
the fighter meeples.
I want the fighter
I
meeples
just
too.
want the cool looking dudes.
I'm excited about the Fire Meeples. They actually have an expansion with that was part of the Kickstarter program only with the second level. So you have ladders to go up and down. Is the one that's being added on. They also have one with Urban Strike. So I'm excited about the expansions coming out. But I think it's just a fun game overall. And it was challenging, and I do like the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I'm going to actually rate it a little bit lower as Adam did.
I thought the first one you were begging this to hit the table again.
I do like the play of the game. But I myself just as a gamer, I like cooperative. I like to be on a team.
So why the 6? But you're going lower.
Because
He hasn't given a number yet. How low are you
said
going?
he said six.
And the reason why I'm going with the 6 is because I haven't really fully experienced all the characters in the game.
That's true.
I think I've only played 3 of them out of what 8.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would like to expand.
In all
on
fairness, I think you played a worthless character the time you played.
I think I did.
Which one did you, the generalist?
I probably one of the chicks. I And they got too much makeup on. I mean, honestly, I mean, I enjoy a good looking woman, but I mean, honestly, what do they give them? The driver operator? No, she's not. That's not a chick.
It's the paramedic.
Do you know what a woman looks? Have you ever seen a woman?
Oh, many times. But I mean, come on.
Mom doesn't count.
You can resuscitate a victim. Who cares? Let him go. I mean, you have like 40 in the box to go. You only have to rescue 7.
You can't lose more than 4.
Oh, anyways, so you're rating it a 6
just because I would like to experience. I want more experience with it, and I don't get the cards either. What I would like to see is hats. Everybody loved the fireman hats.
Colored hats.
Exactly.
Different colors.
Oh, dude, if I was wearing a blue fireman hat, I would give the thing a 10.
You could pin one of those on. You would have your little badge.
Of the badge and maybe an axe. Oh, dude.
And then little fire
extinguisher. You guys are listening. Maybe another Kickstarter. You can really get this going.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, sound effects. Like for saving people, little button through the ambulances.
Shouldn't it be a fire truck too that actually has lights on it, drives around?
Well, actually,
no. I just think 2 buttons. A fire truck.
You know what else? As long as we're throwing, think of a little card, like a different scenario, like what causes fire? Oh, Uncle Larry fell asleep by the Yuletide log, and somebody was smoking in bed, and they burned themselves. Right?
I get that. So more.
You got a lesson along with
story.
A little backstory that leads to some kind of lesson.
Oh, little Johnny didn't stop, drop, and roll when he was caught on fire and set the bed sheet on fire. And, yeah, I totally.
Susie wanted to see if the cat's tail was flammable.
Did you say stop, drop, and roll, and he caused a fire that way? So you're doing the right thing, and he made it worse.
He didn't stop, drop, and roll.
Okay.
I don't know, but maybe he rolled into a curtain. Obviously that's gonna happen. That happens in real life. We've all seen that stuff happen, right?
I mean, we've seen Rescue 911 when it was on like a decade ago. Welcome to the 90s. Yeah. That show? No?
Yes, I remember that show. William Shatner, man.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, he was the host.
Is that all we have?
Anyways.
Let's give a shout out to William Shatner.
Yeah, special thanks. This is dedicated to Bill.
We're going to Bill, huh?
Yeah. So we're like this. First name basis.
That's Flashpoint Fire Rescue. If you have any comments on this video, which I'm sure many of you do, the website or the email address is meeplesonmeeples@gmail.com. Also, make sure you check out our website, our Facebook page, and our Twitter account.
And thank you guys for being along with us this week. And if you want to catch our episode next week, where we'll be talking about Formula D, which I think is a favorite among this group.
Yes, I do believe that is a half favorite.
And see you next time.
Thank you.